Welcome everybody to the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. Jim, this week we're on to letter Q, and Q is all around quiet time. So what's the benefits of taking quiet time? What really, in terms of success in the ring and in terms of success in our lives, why should we take this quiet time every day?
Great question. You're all very welcome, and thank you for introducing it so beautifully, Connor. So the answer to that question is our brain, our mind, our heart is much better when we're quiet and when we're relaxed. It's like a horse. It's like all your animals. When they're relaxed, they're at ease, and you can educate, you can teach, you can connect better, and we're no different. So quiet time to question. So we're really going to focus on the cues to question. We need to question ourselves and who we are, what we want, why we're doing the sport, when we started it, how much we love it. A lot of riders would say, when I ask them, like, who are you doing it for? Sometimes they're the wrong answers. When they start, they say, oh, I do it for my own love and my passion and the connection, and it's what I love doing. However, sometimes riders would say, look, I'm doing it for, to please my trainer, to please my parents, I'm doing it for my family. And they're good answers, but the best answer is to do it for yourself. You need to question why. It's your passion, it's your connection with this animal. Sometimes people, when I'd ask that question, riders would say that I'm doing it to beat that person, or I'm going to and the energy isn't pure. Pure energy is when you do it for yourself. So you need to question, you need quiet time to question. The quality of your life equals the quality of your questions. So when you ask yourself the question, am I going to enjoy this today? Am I lucky? Am I grateful? Am I so thankful that I have this sport that I love, these animals that I love and they love me, this beautiful sport where I'm going to get the best out of this animal. I'm going to ride it as smooth and as even and as flowing as possible, and then as fast as I can. The answers I love when I ask the question, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to ride it, go as fast as I can that suits me and my animal, and after that, whatever the result is. Of course, your intention is to win. And competition and to be competitive, to get better, it's a beautiful thing. Ambition is a beautiful thing, but you have to balance it with where you're at with the horse, to go as fast as you can that suits the animal. So if you don't get the quiet time to ask these questions, your riders are often doing it for the wrong reason. And there was a rider recently, he won a Saturday night class, and I remember asking him early in the afternoon, like, why are you doing it? And he said, look, for my family, my kids. And I said, that's beautiful. I said, but tell me about you. What would you like to do? And he said, well, why? And he came up, he thought about it, and he reflected for a few minutes. He had his quiet time. And he said, his answer was, I'm doing it to make a difference.
Okay.
To make a difference, he came up with. And he also added that he wants to be a force of nature. I just thought it was beautiful. He talked about his mom, for reflecting on his mom. He wanted to be a force of nature. And as he warmed up the horse, I remember asking him, there's two questions, two reasons why you're doing it. And as he answered the question, I'm doing it to make a difference. And I'm doing it to be a force of nature. And I could see the energy. I could see a sense of purpose come over him. Now, it was beautiful what he said earlier, but this was like he was in his zone when he spoke about that. And it doesn't always work, Connor, but he won it that night. And like, he came out, and I could feel he did it for himself. We're number one. We have to put ourselves first, and everyone else then, that good energy, then it resonates and ripples off us. Sometimes people do things they do for other people. While it's very admirable, but it's not. We have to be number one from the right place, and then from that beautiful place, great energy flows. And his family were overwhelmed; they were delighted, and his wife and his kids. It's that. Of course, that was next.
So he got the outcome he actually was looking for in the end, but by bringing up his energy in a more meaningful way.
Yeah, the quality. So the questions I asked got him to reflect, and it was in a quiet time. It wasn't before the competition when all the the study of the course and every line and every distance, and there's so much to go into those moments of the course walk between the second you will go into that ring and the build up before that, that quiet time that I encourage riders to go away and have a nap and quieten the energy and switch off, watch a movie, do something, music, something that will switch you off, and then build on the switch again, so your energy is fresh. If you can, if you're going early in the morning, you're competing early in the morning, or you're training, and then you build up to the competition, you don't get that freshness. It's like a horse needs to take a break. You school the horse flat and put him away, and the horse comes out. You're not doing it right before the class. You give a break. A brain is the same. So that energy, but you need that quiet time to visualize. Quiet time. I'd encourage riders to watch their best rounds, to get into the zone, watch heroes rounds, and build it up slowly. And of course, we'll talk about time and when we get to tea. But you need to have this sacred, quiet space where your energy builds and builds and builds and builds, so that then when that bell goes, that you're just in that peak state. And that's where the questions are why you're doing it. This is my passion, this is my love, this is my go-to, this is my happy place, this is who I am. It's my identity, it's my purpose, it's my passion. And the more you can connect with those quality questions, the better answers.
Yeah, I heard a coach once say at a seminar, he said, world-class questions bring world-class results.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I never thought of it like that. I always thought, so if you ask the right question, you'll get the right result out of yourself, or you'll think about it in such a way. And like what you're saying there, do everything with a purpose. And it's not like, why are you doing it? What, like, really to go deep into the emotion of it, rather like that rider you mentioned earlier, that you're not just going, I'm doing a round and I'm a bit stressed about it, and it's grand and we're getting through the day. That there's a real drive, a real sense of purpose behind it.
If we don't take quiet time and don't question, our day will run away with us. Many of us are guilty of not taking a pause, not being conscious. When riders write courses, they say, I'm going to take a breath there, and just going to, there's a moment there where you can just get yourself balanced and the horse balanced and connected again. But if you don't do that throughout the day and take those pause breaks.
But also, I suppose that's when you're getting started. But let's say something goes wrong, and let's say you get a bad round or whatever, that you're able to use that, take quiet time and rationally question, go, well, okay, it didn't go great, but what could be great about it? And what?
Yeah, that's the debriefing greatness, Connor. So when riders come out, of course, the first thing to do, ideally they should just look at their round back and look at what was great, and then what could be greater. So you're instantly learning from that round, from that class, and that's a great technique to study. And then you can say, okay, this horse was good, I rode this good, I rode this well, this was great, and this could be greater. And actually, and the confidence should grow, and you should be picking up the learnings from me or the horse, or you or the horse, I should say.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, then you can move on to your next horse, or you can let it go and move forward. Of course, the bigger the class, the bigger the analysing afterwards. Mm-hmm. But you need that quiet time, and if you just rush, there's no learning. Mm-hmm. Quiet time is when we reflect. Quiet time is when we question, when we look at, why we're doing it, and then timing, and how am I going to do this? Why am I doing it? Where am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? So, when a horse comes out and jumps clear, you have to work out the time on what number am I going to be, when time is a jump off course. That all these questions give great answers, and the quicker the question and the better the question, the better the results.
Yeah, but I think you're taking it for granted that most people come out of the ring, or in any sport, if something's going wrong, the sense that you come back and you're beating yourself up and you're going over analysing and you're in a fear kind of state. But the fact that would take someone aside when you're coaching them and say, look, let's forget about the negativity and let's say what was really good, and you calm their energy system back down again, so that they can go into the next, on the next horse, or in the next round, or even next week, if they don't, like, you don't want to be ruminating about it all week.
Of course, Connor, of course. So that's a great, it's good that you bring that up. When people call me first, that is one of the first or in the early parts, I'd explain, look, this is what we're going to do. We're always going to focus on what the debrief and greatness. That's what was great, great, great. What could be greater? We're going to cut out the negativity, because that does not serve us, as we talked about earlier. Like, that lowers energy, it lowers confidence. It's always what's great, great. And this takes a long time. It takes a lifetime of going one way, and working with writers year and year, that like you still go back. And as humans, I'm working on myself all the time. I have to catch myself out. I have to ask myself the questions: what am I thinking? What's important next? And that, going back to the Q word, the question, like, what's the next best thing I can do? That is one of the best questions any of us can ask in any walks of life. What is the next best thing I can do? First question. Second question, let me do it now. Third thing to do is, yeah, well done, good effort.
Yeah.
Simple questions at the right time, to do the right thing, to get the right result. Praise yourself afterwards, because our mind gets us in the way. We overthink and we just drift and we're not focused. But the questions, what's the next best thing to do now? And okay, do it, and then praise the effort. It's when you ride, you ask, say, what's the best next thing for my horse? I'm going to do this, I'm going to shorten, lengthen, I'm going to practice my accuracy on pole work, whatever it might be. And then if you plan it and you're on the horse, and then you do it, and then you pat the horse. As humans, we need to do the same, but we don't. Most people just say, oh my God, my day ran away with me. How many of us are guilty with not taking a breath, not questioning, not stopping to take that quiet time to ask those questions?
And funnily enough, we were only talking about this before we started filming here today. It was, our brains are really only there to help us survive. So it's constantly just being vigilant and focusing on the negative. Like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? Where could I control this? Or it's a kind of it's a survival negative, lower energy that doesn't serve you.
Yeah, I say never mind the mind. Now, that sounds a bit odd and a bit abstract, and I should say, the heart, or passion, or soul, or energy, or spirit, spirit of the horse, the energy of the horse. That's what we need to work on. The passion, why, the question why. Like, when you ask, like, why am I doing it? Because I love it. I reconnect. You might have a bad run of time, and confidence could be low. You might be building back a horse. You might be recovering from a fall, and you have to remember why you've done. Go back to the past victories when it felt amazing, when you had the thrill and the excitement, the elation. I often ask riders, how are you going to feel afterwards? Elated, one rider says, and he always goes, elated. Another writer would say, like, amazing, excited, successful, fulfilled. These are words. Pleasure, I get. The satisfaction. Everyone has different words, but if you don't ask those words, you're not going to trigger that emotion inside, and the emotion is passion. That's what you need to ignite.
I'm just, something funny is coming to my mind. You say about asking the right questions, and I don't know, in Ireland anyway, we always say, oh, how are you doing, or how's your day? And most people would say, oh, good, or not too bad, or that kind of, there's always kind of a negative kind of, not too bad, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there was a doctor I knew in our local village. I remember asking him this question one day when I met him first, and he goes, absolutely splendid. And it just took me by surprise. It just knocked me out of this normal thing that we say. And I went, well, that's a good answer, actually. And it lifted my spirit to listen to him. So again, it's the questions you ask, or even the answers will bring the right answers.
Absolutely, yeah. One writer says, never better, never better. I just think that's just a beautiful answer too.
Yeah.
But it's how we answer. But yeah, because everything is energy. And if we have an upbeat energy, everything is going to be upbeat. But again, it takes non-stop energy to build that energy. And we have to be aware, where is my energy out of 10? How am I going to get... Another writer, one of the things, makes sure he gets water and pours it on some people need to go into and build up energy. Everyone has a different way how they're going to create that energy.
What do you mean he puts water on?
Yeah, he takes off his hat and pours a bottle of water on his head.
And how does that happen?
It just sharpens cold water on your head.
Like a cold shower almost.
Yeah, like a cold shower on a Saturday night. Yeah, it's one of these things, and it works. That's his thing, he needs to, that gets him extra sharp.
Yeah.
So everyone has their own way, but you have to get to this peak state when you're going into that ring, whatever level you're at, whether it's hunters, whether it's dressage, whether it's jumping Saturday nights, or whether it's going in for your 80s, 90s, whatever height, you have to get yourself in a peak state to give yourself the best chance. But you have to question, how am I going to get into that place? What am I going to do so my energy is 100% for my horse? From, when I get on my animal, it's me, and we're locked in. And the more you ask these important questions, the more tight the zone, the tighter the focus is.
Yeah, and as you say, like the questions are important, but it's finding that quiet space or quiet time to ask the questions, because you're going to be pulled from Billy to Jack anyway. Things are crazy at the show
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely. Yeah, there's always moving parts, and times change, and classes start different times. There's so many things, and you're working with a team, but you have to ask those questions, and the quality of your questions, as I said earlier, is equals the quality of your life.
Okay, so again, how do we integrate this? Is meditation something?
Yeah, everything, because meditation quietens your mind,
Yeah.
and the mind is always trying to work out safety. So we have to come up with techniques to calm it down, so you can build the passion, build that energy, so that the quiet time becomes a passion time.
Just before we lead into an actual meditation, actually, that's something. Sometimes you don't know the answer, and sometimes it's good to spend 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes actually just completely switching your brain off, and something bubbles up, or you get a download from out of the universe or something, that
Yeah,
something, a thought comes to you going, that's the answer.
yeah. Lots of people ask me about meditation, and I love Deepak Chopra. He's a very famous guru, and he's a lifetime on meditation and yoga and how to bring the best out of ourselves. But what he does is he asks the question going into every meditation, I want an answer, I'm going to learn something from this. And that's a beautiful way. I actually embrace that, because there's always, if we don't ask, we won't get the answer. And that's why, going back to the question. So when we do meditations, when I go into them, I'd love each rider to ask yourself, how am I feeling afterwards? What did I learn? What evolved from it? What did I grow? How did I improve? What answers came to me? And be conscious of it and do something about it. Because we're always given answers. And how many times have I asked riders, what did your gut say? Well, my gut said I should have done this. Like, my gut said I should have done that. And that's your, your heart. Like, that's your passion. That's your spirit that's speaking to you. But if we don't tune in, if we don't ask, like, I know one writer said, Jim, remind me to keep following my gut. Every time I follow my gut, I'm correct. But don't listen to my gut, which I call the mind. The mind brings in the fears, the worries. Your gut is your instinct. So your instinct, your gut, is going to come out from meditations. So when we have this meditation done, I would love you to ask yourself as a writer, what came up? What do I have to get better at? How can I improve? What did I learn from that? And then great answers will come, I promise.
Okay. So let's do a meditation, or lead us into a meditation
Yeah.
here today. All around quiet time, all around questions.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Connor. Okay, so this is your time. This is all about you, riders listening. This is your quiet time. So give yourself this space and time. I'm going to begin by calm, relaxing breaths. Become aware of your breath. Breathe in. Only good energy in, and release any tension as you let go out. Breathe in and out through your nose. Feel your body as it goes in and out. Feel the conscious energy of each breath. Again, concentrate on relaxing your mind, your head, your brain. Just relax it. Give it permission. Allow it to relax and at ease. As you again breathe in and out, feel your shoulders relax. Feel your arms relax. Feel your upper back, lower back, calm and relaxed. Feel your legs, your right leg, left leg, your feet, your toes. Feel your forehead relax. Relax all the tension. Now double that feeling of being relaxed. Double the feeling. Your whole body relaxing, permission to let go. Now triple that feeling of ease and flow, letting go. As you're in this relaxed place, ask yourself, what's my purpose? How much do I love my sport? How much do I love my horses? How did I begin this beautiful journey? Remember back when you first fell in love with your first animal you rode, how much you loved it and why you loved it, the reasons behind it, and how your connection, that feeling, the energy, think about it, connect with it, feel that sensation, and remember, okay, this is why I do it, this is my passion. Connect again with this beautiful energy, the energy of the animal, the connection, you and that animal. Think of you and your present animals, the connection, how much you enjoy them and they enjoy you, and the gratitude you have for them, they have for you and you have for them, building that feeling, that energy, that passion, purpose you have. Now think about what you want to achieve and why you want it. You want to be your best, you want to bring the best out of them, you want to perform your best, you want to do your best. No one else's business. We covered in it's only your business, what you think. Connect deeper to that feeling of the understanding of this great purpose, this heartfelt passion, heartfelt with your horse, each horse you have, the connection. Asking yourself, how can I be my best to go clear, whether it's dressage, hunters, jumpers. How can I be my best? How can I raise my standard? How can I improve? How can I get better today? The ER is the better. How can I grow better? How can I get the best out of myself? How can I get the best out of my animal? Now think and feel the connection. When we're progressing, when we're growing, we're the happiest. Feel that energy bubble up inside. Feel that passion. From 1 to 2, 2 to 3, feel it grow, feel that energy. Just get to new levels of excitement. Let it grow inside you, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, be bursting with the anticipation, the connection, being on this beautiful animal and everything to do with it. Everything to do with him or her or them. Think of all of them. Think of how much joy, how much fun, how much pleasure, how much satisfaction, how much fulfillment, how much elation, having given your all, them, those beautiful animals given their all. From 3 to 4, 4 to 5, let it bubble, let it build, let it grow. 5, 6, 7, step into this energy, this powerful energy. 6, 7, 8, this unity, this union that you're going to have, this oneness you're going to have with this beautiful creature, each one of them one by one, from stride by stride, first moment to the last moment, the moment just in that beautiful presence of greatness. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, feel the gratitude and the appreciation, the acknowledgement grow, let it build, let it bubble, knowing the questions of how much more can I feel this excitement. How much more? Why do I love it so much? When and where am I going to do it, and how am I going to take it to a new level? Think of the places, think of the competition, think of the arenas, that you're worthy, deserving, worthy, and this is your passion, no one else's business. This is what I love to do. This is my identity, this is my DNA. 6, 7, 8, and 9, before you get to 10, let it go to an all-time high. Every time you listen to this meditation, let it go to new levels. 8, 9, and 10. Well done, well done, well done. Great job. I understand you've done your best. You've given your all. Your horse has given your all. Your animal is just there, listening, feeling your whispers of excitement, anticipation that lies ahead. Well done.
Wow, Jim, very powerful meditation. Thank you again. Everybody, this has been the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. Next week we're going to focus on the letter R being for rest.